Hi there again. I have to make an apology. On one of my talks where I was talking about the beehive neon, I said that if it has a resistance in the base or the cap, it will be an enlarged base or cap. I was wrong. I've just been upstairs to the loft and I knew I had this. It is a boxed Pip-Top neon. It's got the Osglim name for night light signs and illuminated indicators, etc. The best results are obtained by using Osglim letter lamps in conjunction with GEC speciality designed sign frames. Particulars on application. They are made in England by GEC. This is going back to the 20s. Same on that side. At the bottom it's got your patent numbers. This type of lamp I believe was originally made in America. I have got one of the early ones which I will show at some time. Anyway, let's take a look at the bulb. It looks identical to the one shown except the little Pip-Top at the top. It's got the same type of pinch. It's got your little glass tube to stop arcing across. You will notice the absence of the evacuation tube because that's not there. That hadn't been invented yet. The cap is the large size. They obviously made this lamp with resistors or without, but this one has not got a resistor in it. On the side, and not clearly written, I will read it out because you will not see it on here. Not to be burnt without series resistance. It also says on there 2270 ohms, so it's 2270 ohms. I'd be very careful, even if you had that, be very, very careful. Anyhow, one tip here is to, if the bulb's stored somewhere, put a bit of tape across the top of the contacts, a piece of sellotape or a bit of insulating tape. That will remind you that if you pick it up and think, oh, I'm going to try that out, you'll look at that and say, blimey, I mustn't do that, I'll blow it up. Anyhow, I can show it working on the good old faithful. Let's turn it on. You'll notice that depending which way round the bulb's connected, either the beehive lights up or the disc. At the moment the disc is lighting. Let's turn it round. Now the beehive is alight. As I said before, on direct current DC, only one side will light. Alternating current, they both light because you're changing from one to the other, cycles of 50 cycles or in the case of America and parts of Japan, 60 cycles. Then I'm going to turn that off. It's also interesting to note that in some installations in old times, fluorescent lights were wired to DC. They would work on DC, they needed a higher voltage, but they would require a reversing switch. So every time you turned them on, the polarity was reversed. This prevented half blackening of the tubes, or you would find the tube would be half a light. So each time it was turned on, you would swap it round so the mercury would be evenly distributed through the whole length of the tube and not deposited at one end. Just put that in as a point of interest, because as a kid I remember the old underground trains, they used to have about a 20-watt tube, and I'd be sitting there and you would see that I'd be looking up and think, now why are they only half a light? Of course in those days I didn't realise what it was. They were obviously run on DC. The switch starter would be a thermal starter. That means it would not be a neon or an argon type. It would have a bimetallic contact heated up by a heater wire, which is brought into operation with the lamp itself, and that would heat up, separate the contacts, and the lamp would strike. But as I say, for higher wattage ones, 40 watts, you'd need 220 or 230 volts. So I just put this in as a little bit of interest. Whether they're used today like that, I don't know. I very much doubt it. But that write-up, or part of it, was also in a very old Westinghouse catalogue that I've got. So it's interesting to note these things. Anyhow, once again, I hope these notes have been helpful. I hope you're still awake. I haven't driven you all to sleep. Many thanks again for looking. Any questions, you know what to do. Ask me and I'll try and answer them. Thank you for looking.